Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going somewhere, somewhere pretty unsettling.
That's one way to put it. We're talking about a village in the Thar Desert called Kuldara.
A place that was, a thriving village, full of people, part of the Paliwal Brahmin community.
And then one day, about 200 years ago, it was just empty.
Instantly deserted. And that's where we start our deep dive with this powerful local legend they call the Silent Curse.
Right. But the legend itself is just one part of the story. We also need to look at what was, actually happening historically at the time.
Okay, so let's start with that legend. It's a chilling one. It all boils down to one person, right?
Exactly. It centers on this really ruthless minister of the region, a man named Salian Singh.
And he sees Ria, the village chief's daughter.
And he becomes, completely fixated on her. The story is that he demanded to marry her.
It was more than just a demand, though, wasn't it? It was a flat-out threat.
Oh, a terrible one. An impossible ultimatum. He basically told the village elders, hand over Ria to me or I will destroy all of you.
He threatened to impose these just crippling taxes. It wasn't just about money, it was about their dignity, their very survival.
It was a horrific choice. Sacrifice the daughter or face total ruin as a community.
So the elders gathered, and they made this unbelievable decision.
They decided they would leave. All of them. Just abandon everything.
And that leads to maybe the eeriest part of this whole story. We're talking about, what, over 1,000 people?
Probably more. And they vanished. Before sunrise, the entire village was gone.
And no one saw them go. The sources describe finding food still left on plates, water boiling in pots.
Yeah, that detail about the food is so important. If you were running for your life, you grab supplies, right?
Of course.
Leaving the meals behind suggests it wasn't just a panicked escape. It feels more ritualistic.
No.
A statement.
Like we were saying, life as we knew it here is now permanently over.
Exactly. And before they left, they performed a ceremony. And they laid down a curse.
What was a curse?
It was something to the effect of, let no human ever live here again. Whoever tries will suffer the same fate as us.
Okay, so that's the legend. It's an incredible story. But you have to ask yourself, for you listening, did a whole village really leave just because of one man's threat?
Or was he just the final unbearable straw? And that's where the historical analysis comes in.
So there was more going on.
Very likely, yes. Historians point to some really severe environmental pressures. This was a time of, extreme drought. And the taxes were escalating everywhere, not just from Salian Singh.
So it's possible the Paliwals were already planning to migrate.
It's highly probable. The demand for Ria then becomes this powerful, unifying reason to go. It frames their departure not as a failure, but as an act of defiance.
And the curse becomes a brilliant way to ensure nobody tries to claim their abandoned property.
And whether it was supernatural or not, that curse has persisted. It really stuck in the local psyche.
The sources talk about multiple failed attempts to resettle Kuldara, right?
Oh yeah. Settlers would report these terrifying things. Screams at night, seeing shadows move.
People suddenly falling ill or even going mad. No family ever lasted more than a few nights.
It fed the legend for centuries. And today, the village is a legally protected site.
And the locals still won't go near it after sunset. They talk about hearing Ria's cry or the footsteps of the vanished villagers.
Travelers have certainly added to the lore their claims of cold spots, strange feelings, and that famous story.
The shadowy figure of a girl at the broken gate.
Staring. And the warning is that if you see her face, you never return.
So what we have here is this perfect intersection of folklore and, probable history. But the core takeaway is kind of the same either way.
It is. Whether it was tyranny or drought that drove them out, the vanishing was an act of profound community sacrifice to protect their dignity.
And I think that leaves us with a really critical thought to ponder.
Yeah.
What's the real power of Kuldara's legend today? Is it the ghosts, the screams, the shadowy girl?
Or is it the memory of that systemic oppression?
Yeah.
The fact that hundreds of people made a collective choice to surrender everything they owned rather than compromise their freedom.
That ultimate choice. That's what still resonates, centuries later, long after the plates of food have turned to dust.